Yo, 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 shalom, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on, everybody? What is going on? What's up, shalom, 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 what's going on? Hope everybody doing well. Hope everybody doing well. Hope everybody doing well. All right. Hope everybody doing well. Hope everyone's doing well out there. Just wanted to come holler at y'all, man. Just touched down this morning back in Atlanta, and man, we had an awesome time. On those of y'all who've seen the conference or seen the discussion, the balance between Christians and Israelites, leaders. Those of y'all watched on YouTube, I know many of y'all watched it live stream on YouTube. A lot of great feedback. This was the best one that I've been a part of.
Stop the turks!
What?
You want mine?
Yeah.
Please don't
This
hurt
is doing a
me.
recap.
Please don't hurt me. I don't see this.
Sign, come here. What is that? What was it? Where?
Under the table?
In a box.
Yes.
And it was under the table too.
Wow.
So I have to.
I figured that. I figured it probably was put up somewhere.
I have to. Thought somebody had
Did you find the piece to it?
the piece in the box, in the original box.
So you can plug that into the speaker and still.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good. We got extra.
Lego.
Shalom, everybody. Well, we
Happy
touchdown.
birthday, Sonny.
Kids is in here in the office, and yeah, he having fun. But yeah, it was awesome. Those of y'all who saw it live on the YouTube channel, if you haven't seen it, you definitely want to check it out. But it was awesome. This was probably the best one, and whatnot. And so this was the third one. People are already kind of pulling and asking, will we do another one in Atlanta before the year is over? I would say I didn't plan on doing another one, but if we're able to somehow pull it off, it would be just on our normal Shabbat at our Atlanta congregation. Shalom, what's going on, Marcel? Shalom, how you doing? But yeah, man, it's just been awesome. A lot of things going on in Atlanta, in New York. So let's just kind of do a recap of kind of like what went down. But if you want to check it out, you can go check it out on YouTube, youtube.com/itsmajors1, or you can search BOOMCHURCH on YouTube and be able to go there and check it out. But it was definitely awesome. It was awesome crowd. People who Israelites brought, a lot of family members who were Christian who would not even normally come to a Shabbat because maybe they saw some people on the corners. Especially we was in New York, so most people see those who were on New York on 125th Street, out there, cussing people out and stuff like that. So many of them didn't even want to even hear or even, talk about or come anywhere where no Israelites was at. But they talked them into it, they talked their families and friends into it. And so it was awesome. They came and it was so phenomenal, awesome. And so, yes, Sister Isha, yes, it was definitely, man, it was definitely diverse. It was awesome, man, awesome panel. Diverse brothers and sisters. And so the thing was, it was so awesome because we scheduled it for the panel discussion would be at 1 o'clock, but then from 11 to 1 they had the normal service. From 11 to 1, the normal Shabbat. where they was doing the reading of the scriptures, doing like a Shabbat lesson and worship. And so what happened was many people brought their, hey, shalom, Elder Cletus, Nigeria, shalom, our beloved elder. Many of them came to the 11 o'clock because the flyer had 11 o'clock because we had planned it out for it to be at 11. So people, because we didn't want to say 1 o'clock and people just, came in late or anything like that. Plus we had agreed that they would have their normal Shabbat service. So we wanted those who maybe were Christian, who didn't really understand, Israel, or maybe who seen Israel on, and have a negative mindset about the Israelites. And so they came to the 11 o'clock service. That kind of really opened everything up because they came into an atmosphere of worship that was so phenomenal. And I went live. I wasn't even planning on going live until 1 o'clock, but the worship was so awesome in the assembly. So I went live from my page, which I was supposed to go live from YouTube, but I went live from my page so y'all can actually see, because there's a lot of people out here, they just don't understand. They think that, we don't worship. They think we just run around here just, I don't know, all kind of crazy. Okay, but let alone all the other stuff that's going on in the community right now. But they were able to see that, and that kind of opened up a lot of things, opened up a lot of people's hearts. And so they were prepared and ready for the panel. Big shout out to my brother. I've been knowing, we've been knowing each other for a while online. And I finally got a chance to meet him in person. And it was truly blessed, man, a great spirit. My brother Zion Lex, who came, he was a part of the panel, man. I really appreciate him for coming through, as well as brother Daquan. I still believe in the praise. Oh yeah, absolutely. I believe in a praise dance too. Brother Daquan, which is another brother that been following me on Facebook for probably, I know, at least 3+ years. And I remember when we first met, when I first became friends with Daquan on Facebook. Daquan was I never been to a Sabbath service. Looking forward. Yeah, you should, Sister Cheryl. I think we sent you the information to Richmond, down there to my cousin's church or assembly down there in Richmond. Well, again, big shout out to the homie Daquan, man. Daquan, what's going on, man? What's going on? You busy right now, man? I don't know if my live gonna act right. I was gonna say, man, you can come on the live and talk about it. Definitely would love to have you come on the live. This brother Daquan I was telling y'all about, we've been friends for like 3+ years. And brother Daquan came. It was so good to see him and really embrace the brother and whatnot. And that was the beauty of the trip, and being able to see brothers and sisters that I interact with. It's always great when you can go to a city and you see brothers and sisters that you've been interacting with for like more than a year or so, and all of a sudden, you see them and y'all embrace, y'all laugh, y'all talk, and it's really just the spirit of brotherhood and sisterhood is there, and you really be able to build with them. It's just a relationship that you cherish, what I'm saying? You just really cherish. And we're talking genuine brothers and sisters. And Brother Daquan, he was that, man. He brought his pops and couldn't find him and his pops. Only Love, Noah's pop, they done some community organizing together. So that really broke the ice. And the worship broke the ice for a lot of people. And big shout out to Reverend Yolanda Brown. She was okay, Daquan. Reverend Yolanda Brown, she was a Christian, and she, sister straight up, man. I'm telling you, it's a difference when you come from the South and you deal with folks in the North, man. They make, you just have to really know the intent of people, because folks from New York, they just, up north, they just shoot straight, and that's how she was. She just shot straight, you know what I'm saying? And so Big shout out to her. The other Ashanti pastor, who was a Christian from Ghana. Big shout out to him as well. He really did his thing, and he shared some things of even, you know, him and his people as, you know, as Ghanaians. You know, they know that they are Hebrews and things like that. And this is something that he's like, yo, we been knew that. Like, and Only Love even talked about one of the biggest massacre of Hebrews, Sabbath keeping Hebrews, was during the time of Nelson Mandela, when they pretty much what they did, they slaughtered, you know, a lot of Sabbath keeping Hebrews. And Nelson Mandela said it was one of the worst atrocities that happened on African soil. So who else? I don't want to forget anybody. Pastor Jonathan Mickens, who put together, who actually hosted the balance at their assembly, Bethel House of Yahweh in the Bronx. So if you are in the Bronx or in New York or anywhere close to the Bronx, definitely you want to get over there to Bethel. Solid. He's a third generation Israelite. So his grandfather was an Israelite. His father was an Israelite, and now he took over the assembly. And so he's in his 40s. He's been an Israelite since birth, you know. So, but I'll say is one who has a ruach, you know. Who else? My cousin, Pastor Kelly Richardson, or known as Richardson Kelly, on here. Awesome. It was awesome. Him being on the panel and kicking a lot of knowledge and whatnot. Only Love, who's on the panel as well. That was awesome. And we just really got into a lot of things. I did an icebreaker in the beginning. In fact, my cousin, Billy Brock is actually watching on Live 9 Jacksonville. He was a part of the balance in Jacksonville. And he's not your average Christian either. You know, that's why we was talking, and I was like, man, y'all be saying some stuff about some folks that y'all have no idea. Like, some of these, I be trying to tell y'all about the experiences when you talk to people outside of listening to folk talk about people, and you actually talk to people about what they actually believe. You'll find out, like, man, like, he ain't rocking that Christmas tree. He ain't rocking them Easter egg hunts and all that other stuff. You know, Bishop Brock, he ain't on that type of stuff. It's just a lot of other Christians out here who call themselves Christian, who embrace their heritage, but call themselves Christian, but they ain't rocking that pagan stuff. You know what I'm saying? They ain't rocking none of that stuff. So, you know, it's that's why these gatherings and panel discussions is so important, to be able to sit down and dialogue, have conversation, and actually find out what someone actually believes in their position and where they're at, versus making up. Hey, what's going on, Lady Ellie? Versus making up what you think, or based on your experience. You have to get out of your experience. You know what I'm saying? Or you should only limit you should only limit your claim against someone else based on your experience. And what I mean is this: I don't use the term all because I have not met all. I only use the term based off my experience and the people that I've met. They function this way, or they do this. Hey, Shalom, Sister Carol. They function this way, they do this. I don't say all Christians believe this. I don't say all Hebrews believe this. Like, when you do that, you set yourself up for failure. And what I mean is that eventually you're going to run into someone that doesn't fit into your all category. And that's the thing that is very important when you start having conversation. Only those who are truly interested in truth understand how important dialogue, discussions, and reasoning is. Those who have an agenda, they dismiss all of that. Daquan, see if you can send me a friend request. I mean, send me an invite. I'm gonna see. See if it worked, man, because sometimes this joint don't be working, man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Lady Ellie, it's like everybody be saying that. You know, everybody was saying that, like, man, they felt like they was really there, and they love. Shout out to my brother, man, who just logged on too. I was just talking about you, Zane. Just talking about you. Shout out to my brother who just logged on. But the thing is that people, you have to, like I was saying earlier, you have to understand that painting the brush of all sets you up for failure. It's very important that you sit down and have a conversation and dialogue with someone so that way you can get an understanding of their position and why they came up the way they came up. Hold on. Let me see if this will work, because this thing be jacking up sometimes. We might have fire. Oh, man, that joint worked. I can't believe it.
Yeah, but
worked.
it's telling me to turn my phone horizontal. Is that the new thing now?
Yeah. That's because my phone is horizontal, so that's why it's telling you to turn.
Okay. So you know what? Let me put you on my magnet. Hold on one second. Let me see if this sucker stay. Oh, your mama. Let me see if I can get this sucker to stay. You know what? Cause you know with the cabin, I keep the phone in the thing holder. But you know what? Let me move it over, and I'm gonna turn it on because I don't want nobody to think I'm cock-eyed. Like, why the brother looking over there? Give me a second, y'all. Bear with me. Just bear with me, Israel. Oh man.
Man.
How we looking now, man? How we looking
crazy,
now?
Man. Yo, shalom, man. Go ahead, man. We're doing a
shalom,
recap,
family.
Go ahead.
Let me just bear with me, y'all, because you know black folk, man, you start holding off and they start cussing you, man. Hold on, y'all. Like, brother, take it too darn long. We want to get into it. All praises. All right, here we go. Let me see. I'm gonna have to look towards the camera, I guess, because it's gonna make it look like I'm retarded.
Hold on, let me see here. Some people talking about they can't hear. Let me see.
All right, hold on. Let me move my thing up a little bit better so I get a better view. I don't want nobody on here thinking I'm retarded. All right, you cool now. You cool, family. You can see me better now?
Yeah, let me see something. Put on my... Hello?
Yeah, you good. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
Well, you know, first and foremost, you know, I got to tell you, man, you do another discussion and you don't invite me on, we going to fight, man. I don't care what you say. That's the first thing. I'm going to tell you first and foremost. You bring your behind to New York and you don't bring me on that panel, man. I'm getting my boxing gloves and we going to go at it, man.
I got you. Trust me.
I got people hit me up. They're like, yo, how the hell he going to bring Zion Lex and don't bring you? I said, listen, you know, the Lord. I said,
hey, Zion Lex on here right now, too. So
oh, okay. Shalom, family. All praises.
Yeah, man.
But you know it's crazy, man. You know, I was telling my dad yesterday, I said, you know, it's crazy that you can have brothers on your social media for so many years. And I don't know if you remember, but the first time me and you spoke, we spoke on a conference call. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
And I remember you called me and we probably dialogued for like an hour or two, just breaking bread, man. Just, you know, really, you know, I could feel your spirit. And I knew from that day forward, I said, man, this is a good brother right here, man. You know, and I got to really, you know, connect with brothers like him because I feel like being from New York, Israel has a bad name in a sense of a northern mindset. And I think that's what the problem is that I've noticed that a lot of the scattering, you guys wake up in like Kentucky, Georgia, Alabama, Wisconsin, all these places where it's not so much hectic as it is in New York. And we get a broad view that we're all one people are based off of those camps in 125th. And that's what I was telling you the other day, is that this is why anytime somebody hears Israelite, they automatically get shell-shocked. I'm like, oh, you must be one of them Power Ranger dudes from 125th. I'm like, well, what do you mean? And it's like you gotta defend this so much that people don't even want to take the time to even listen to you to get an understanding of where you even at. You know, and I think that's where we got to try to break that bridge, because it's like Christian mind, because I don't like to say the word Christian because that's just a mindset. That's not that's not a heritage. When you say if you say I'm Muslim, or if I believe in Buddha, that's not your heritage. That's just your mindset of where you're at. So like when the sister yesterday said, you know, she got emotional, she said, I'm a Christian, that's still not your heritage. That's just your faith standpoint of what you only know.
Right.
So we got to understand is that just when somebody says they're a Christian, that don't necessarily mean that they don't know that they're a bloodline Israelite.
Right.
They just have they don't have an understanding that you don't associate with following the renewed covenant, as in I have to call myself a Christian. You don't have to call yourself a Christian to follow.
Right.
And I think that's another thing we don't teach, is that our people been so, I guess, you know, the way the truth is coming, the Lord is every time I go live, somebody starts sending me an inbox. But what I was saying is, I think as a culture, we have a broad view of what an Israelite is. And that's the problem, is that too many people, instead of us coming out to support one another and to learn the information, to be around each other, to break bread, we much rather go on YouTube and sit there and let these Power Rangers teach the word of truth. And that's not what the Lord is dealing with right now. And I don't like the stereotype that we have as a culture, that we all are militant, you know, no like home training, you know, rough around the edges, mean-spirited people, because that's not true.
Right.
You know, and I was telling you that yesterday, is that, you know, like my stepfather, I'm gonna tell y'all from a testimony, he's known about Bethel, he said, for over 40 years. And he never stepped foot in that place, not because he didn't want to. He thought that if he would have went there, they would have crucified his behind. And I'm gonna tell you straight up, we had a dialogue once we left, because he was rushing me. I was mad, man. I was like, Dad, you gotta leave now, man. I'm feeling good. And he was like, man, I gotta catch the cleaners open. And I was like, oh, here you go, man. Just when I'm over here enjoying myself around my people, here you go. So I was like, all right, whatever, man. So we was chopping it up, and he was telling me that he was locked up 40-something odd years ago with a brother that went to that church. I didn't even know that. So that just shows you how powerful the Most High is that he knew about that place, but he said that, you know, from the brothers, that he got he got this real bad spirit, that when you say Israelites, he think that we all these buffed up, puffed up Power Rangers trying to push something on somebody, and we don't have no type of common sense. And I said, well, Dad, you should know just from knowing me, I'm not like that.
Right.
And, you know, and don't get me wrong, I've had my years, because even Zion, though, you know, when I first came into the truth, I was a puffed up Power Ranger. I'll be the first one to tell you that. You know, if you wasn't down with the no pork, no shrimp, I was crucifying you. I'll tell you, you know, the Lord had to do a lot of working on me. And you know, she's not my wife no more, but basically I'm gonna say it this way, my kid's mother, when we was together, she got awoke before me. And I used to be real hard when I got awoke, because I took it real serious, not realizing it wasn't that deep. Meaning that, you know, I didn't have to go so hard to get the point across.
Right.
And I think for a lot of Christians, they look at us as a broad view of just being mean-spirited. Like you said, New Yorkers, I know for sure, we don't have that Southern hospitality, family. I'm going to just tell you right now, that's why you was making your jokes yesterday. They was looking at you like you was crazy. And I'm just like, dang, man, where's the spirit? But that's just New York, man. It's not, I don't think it's just a culture of black people. New Yorkers are mean as hell, man.
Yeah.
You know, they don't know how to just relax and just enjoy one another and be friendly. That's why, like now, when I go to Virginia for vacation, them people, oh, you from New York City? I'm like, yeah. They be like, come on, man, come on. They don't act like that here. You see, when you come to New York off the airport, they look at you like, man, Negro, who are you?
Yeah.
You know, and it's crazy though. It sucks to say that, but the more north you go, the more harder people are.
Wow.
Yeah, man. And I'm gonna let you chop it up now, but you know, just throwing in my insight real quick. I just believe that we need to do things more of these because we gotta try to bridge the gap of letting Christians understand that the word Christian is just your mindset, but that's not your heritage. And it's bigger than just calling ourselves the chosen people. It's understanding the legacy and what value we have to this book. And that's what people don't realize. I'm so sick of people saying, oh, I got a relationship with Jesus and I got a relationship with Christ, but you don't know nothing about him.
Right.
But they jump up and try to shut you down by saying, well, I don't care because I got a personal relationship with God. Well, then why you sing so darn much?
Right.
You ever know, and it's funny, and I don't care when nobody say Christian people are the most meanest people on earth. You go to a Christian church and you ain't got on no suit and tie and you ain't got your beard trimmed up and looking all suave, man, they make you want to run out the darn church. and it's funny because I asked them, I said, you know, it's funny y'all take so much pride in calling yourself Christian, but y'all treat people so mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? And then when we call ourselves Israelites, oh Lord, oh, they in a cult, they this, they that. We get every name in a book, man.
That's true.
You know,
that's true.
So that's why I just want to, you know, I definitely want to say, you know, it was a blessing meeting you, man. I'm telling you, bro, still like right now, I'm just mad as hell I had to leave last night, man. Because, you know, you don't get brothers like you in the Israelite community a lot. You know, brothers like Zion Lex, you, and it's a handful of brothers. But I've met so many Israelites over the years, and these Negroes ain't got no spirit at all, man. At all. I'm talking about, like, I've seen brothers come to Israelite functions, and you talk about praise and worship, they look at you, the first thing come to their mind, you're a Christian.
Wow.
Mind you, if you read that Bible, David was getting a chicken noodle soup dance on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, y'all want to talk about the polygamy and all this stuff about our forefathers, but y'all don't want to talk about how he was doing the chicken noodle. He was getting his darn boogie on. They don't talk about that.
What is the Harlem Shake?
Yeah, he was getting it all on, man. Oh man. But you know, it's crazy because even when you read the New Testament, you read about in Acts and all these books of how they was getting their boogie on. Pray, have joy, and all these things, but they forget about all that stuff. They think that we just gotta be walking around here mad and mean all of a sudden, teaching a whole bunch of Israelite history and keep the commandments. Well, how you think you get into the kingdom of boogie? And that's why I say, you know, it's a big bridge. Even me and Bishop, I know you know this brother, Bishop Boyd was talking about it years ago. We gotta really get to the meat of where the problem is at. Is it really because we call ourselves Israelites? Or is it the foundation that you stereotype us as in one box that we all the empowering you see on YouTube? And that's not true.
Yeah. And I think that's going to be our next discussion because they want to do it again. And to be honest with you, I'm glad you bringing it out because I thought about that for doing it again. I thought about you and being on the panel on the next one. And I think that's gonna be like coming out of the gate. Now that we've already did one, we've already kind of laid the foundation down. Now the next one is like getting into the meat of things, if per se, of dealing with, okay, what is the issue? Is it because we call ourselves Israelites? What is it? And go from there. So definitely, man, this is the first time we came. The next one is gonna be even dope because now the people know what to expect.
Right.
But from your perspective, what did you think about the questions? You know, because for some reason, we spent a lot of time on that Sabbath. That Sabbath was because I remember when that question came up, and Zion Lex looked at the screen and he was like, "Oh man, shots fired."
You know
he
what,
was like,
man?
shots fired, man. Oh man, that's Sabbath, man. That's a serious topic, man.
Well, you know what? For me, I feel like when a brother asks that question, and like he said, you got to be very mature of where you at in your intellect and your how do you say it, in your balance of handling certain topics as a man or a woman. And we know that a lot of people in Israel, especially our sisters, because we love you, don't get mad at me because I don't want y'all to beat me up, because you know they get mad. Our sisters get very touchy topics. And I feel like you said, this is why the Messiah had to deal with the disciples a certain way, because when you talk about certain topics around everybody, it starts becoming World War III. And we can't, and the thing is, that subject, because the way of, like me, I believe, this is me, from what I know, and I'm not saying I believe as my personal belief, I'm talking about from being in New York. I believe it started with the Islamic stuff that was preached during the time of the Black Power movement. I believe that's where it started, as far as just being in my state of New York. Now, we can talk about, you know, other states and, you know, other fractions or whatnot, but I believe that from the time of the Black Power movement, when Islam had a stronghold of some type of black consciousness, that's where polygyny originally started. Then when the foundation from that started, because if you look into the old slave records, you don't see nothing about polygamy. If you look into our ancestors, everything was a struggle of trying to find businesses, you know, running from the white man, getting lynched, and, you know, Jim Crow laws and other stuff. You never really heard anything about polygamy. We didn't hear none of that until we started dealing with the Islamic faith of basically saying, okay, women, you guys are daughters of Zion, but at the same time, I can have multiple wives. Then from that perspective, it got transformed into the Old Testament Israelites. You know, because we can't knock them off, because let's be honest, before you dealt with a one-West school in New York, you had a lot of Old Testament Israelites that started coming up. And, you know, of course, Zion can contest to that. A lot of schools, especially in New York and Harlem, was open from Old Testament Israelites. And if you don't believe in the new covenant or the renewed covenant, whatever way you want to call it, from that perspective of that Old Testament, that's where from Islam to Israel, I feel like the spirit never died out. It's already get pushed. Now, I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not 100% accurate. I don't come from One West. I've only been a student of hearing stories and being around brothers that come from that school and that foundation. But from what I was told was that the Rabbi Matthews of the world and all the original forefathers of that school, they said that one of the brothers was originally Old Testament first, and another brother was coming from an Islamic thought. I could be wrong. But if you take that into consideration, that would make more sense of where the agreement would be, that now during the early, you say late 80s, early 90s, we get this idea that now we can start dealing with our sisters and pushing a doctrine of polygyny, or some say polygamy, or what have you. And then from there, I tell anybody this. What black man in America, I challenge any black man in America, if you ask any man from the street, it don't matter what he believe, whatever. Let's be honest. What black man in America is going to tell you that he don't want more than one woman? Let's just keep it 100. If you could give a man his most lustful desire to be on an island and kangaroo somewhere with a whole bunch of butt-naked women feeding him grapes, let's just keep it 100. Who want to say no? You know, let's come on now. Married, not married. Let's be honest. No man in this world, if he could have his cake and eat it too, is going to tell you that he wouldn't want to have all these tropical women sitting down being fanned like a king and have all these butt-naked women feeding him grapes. But that's just not logical. You know what I'm saying? So from me, I remember years ago when I said, you know what? Maybe I need to read this Bible over, because these brothers are pushing it so hard. Maybe I'm missing the scriptures. Let me go. And the thing is, I didn't really go into the New Testament as much as a lot of brothers do. I said, let me go into the Torah and let me analyze the Torah, because see, I noticed about Israelites, we pick and choose, just like the Christians do, what's suitable for us and what we like. So it's like I feel like we play double dutch with the Bible. We'll say, okay, well, that's not talking about that, but then that's talking about that. And then especially the New Testament, when it comes to Paul's letters, they dance with Paul all day. They'll tell you, oh, well, Paul said this, but then when it's not suitable for what they're doing, oh, well, Paul's not talking about that.
Right.
And they'll start playing semantics with the scriptures, because I seen a video, not to get off topic, the Sakari brother, Deacon Akar. He could say, I'm calling him out, I don't even care. He did a video with another camp that's affiliated with IUIC that comes from the branch off of them. And the topic was about polygyny. I was watching it earlier. And he started double dancing with Paul, because we all know that Paul says, if you want to be a bishop or a deacon, you're supposed to be a man of one wife. Now, nobody could disagree with that. That's in the scriptures.
Right.
Now, he took that same scripture and said that Paul didn't mean that literally. He meant that figuratively, saying that Israel was Paul's wife. That you can't be a, listen to this. Listen, and the thing is, this is why I think the Most High, like you said, I got a balance of being able to listen to everybody and not being upset or get angry anymore. So the brother said that when Paul wrote that letter, because this is what he did. He said, well, we all know that Paul would tell you when he's writing from the Holy Spirit, or when Paul's writing out his opinion, he would tell you that. Now, we know that.
Right.
Now, the brother asked him, when Paul wrote the book of Timothy and the book of Titus, did he say in those letters that he was talking out of his own character? He never said that. Not at all.
Said it.
Never said it, right? So check this out. So he said that what Paul was meaning is that a bishop or a deacon couldn't have more than one church. That didn't mean a wife as in a literal wife. Now I'm thinking to myself, I said, hold on, hold on. Cut time out. If I'm an overseer of many, because let's remember, Paul traveled a lot. And that's what Paul basically was. Paul was the overseer of a lot of temples and churches. That's why in the book of Corinthians, they had to call him, because there was too much stuff going on.
Right.
That's just common sense. So I said, well, hold up. How did this brother just take the word of truth and twist it to say, oh, well, we're going to go back to the old law, and the old law says this? Now, check this out. One thing I noticed with Israel is we don't like to deal with the Torah in the context it was written.
Right.
There were some laws that was given directly to Israel from the Most High, and there was also the Mosaic law that Moses had to tell them, because there was a bunch of damn niggas acting like they didn't have no common sense. And let's just keep it 100. And it's just like right now, if the Most High points you to say, listen, William, I come to you in a dream, and this may happen. One day the Most High may hit your spirit and say, I want to raise you up to be the commander-in-chief of bringing my people home. For one, that's a beautiful task that I would love to see that day. But if the Lord told you to do that, and you start seeing Israel come together and start acting like a bunch of knuckleheads, you're going to tell them about themselves. That's common sense. So it's like I see how these brothers go into these scriptures and they double dance with them to fit what they want as far as they lust. And then this is another thing the brother asked him. Do you guys want to multiply wives because we want a nation build? Well, I said, well, hold up. Let me analyze this. How can we nation build when there's over 1 trillion Israelites scattered worldwide? So I'm like, yeah, hold on. Maybe I'm bugging out. Maybe I got to smack myself in the head a little bit. Maybe I'm bugging, because according to what I see every day, we got Israelites worldwide. Let me tell you something, brother. In the past, I've had the privilege and the honor of having Israelites from Australia on my conference calls. I've had Israelites from Jamaica. I've had Israelites from Trinidad, from South America. I've had Israelites from all over the world come on my conference calls and tell me it was a blessing to be on live conferences on Zoom, to meet other brothers and sisters and communicate and have feast days. So where do we need a nation build at when we got over 1 trillion Israelites worldwide?
Nation already built.
It's been built. In the common sense, we destroyed it.
Yeah.
So now, when you break down the issues that we have in our community as just black people, like you said, it's bigger than this. We got issues that go so far past just the knowing that we Israelites. Our people as a whole is a spirit. It's like a culture of a curse that we don't know how to uplift. Because when we fix one issue, it seems like we have to deal with another issue. Then after that issue is fixed or dealt with, we go into another issue. So it seems like the issue just never stopped, because let's just be honest, it is too many black men on earth popping all these darn single women, giving them babies, and don't want to take care of them.
Yeah.
That's one of our biggest issues.
Yeah.
It's so easy to go inside of a woman and put that thing in her and then give her all these kids, but then we got all these single women out here on government assistance because the men don't want to do what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just talking about the one issue.
Right.
But now you talking about having 2 and 3 and 4 women, and you talking about you're not marrying them on paper. So now there's another question I used to ask brothers. So if you believe, let's say, because you know what, we gotta entertain everybody. So let's say you don't believe in the New Testament and you only Old Testament Torah only. So you telling me if you don't marry, because according to the Roman government, the Roman law, we supposed to get married, we can only have one wife in this kingdom. Am I correct? Am I right, Pastor? Or correct me if I'm wrong.
You're correct.
On paper, we can only marry one woman. So I notice how a lot of brothers, they don't want to get the paperwork. But if you die today, tomorrow, how your kids ever gonna collect your Social Security if you ain't got no wife?
Yeah.
How's your wife gonna? How you gonna leave a foundation for your wife if you die today, tomorrow? You don't have no legal documentation of her on paper at all. So you know what she is to the government? She just a piece of ass. Excuse my French. That's what she was, because when you die, if you worked in this system for 20-odd years, who they gonna give your money to?
The government gonna take it.
Yeah, they gonna take it, right. So that's why I asked brothers, I said, brothers, let's just reason for a second. Don't get emotional, don't get angry. But how you gonna have all, and then another thing is I noticed with sisters. Let's go back to the Old Testament. It's funny how Sarah, she told Abraham to pop the maidservant because she felt like she wanted to be above the angel and not wait on his charge to do what the Lord already said he was going to do. She thought it was funny. Now look at the context of the story. She goes upon her own way and tells Abraham, mind you, it's funny how Abraham loved that woman so much, he asked her 600 times, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? He ain't just gonna do it. People forget about that. He's like, hey. He's like, are you sure? She said yes. As soon as he had Ishmael, what happened? Well, it can't be 2 of us up in here. She gotta go. Now come on. Now come on, man. Now that's in the Torah. That's in the Old Testament.
Yeah,
now,
that's
before
true.
we even got to Moses, that's a black woman telling her man, yo, she gotta go. Hey, yo, I'm sorry. So
and he ain't want to let her go. He ain't want to let her go.
No. So now you fast forward to 2019, you know our sisters not having that, man. They not having it. You come in here trying to walk like you King Tut. Yeah, baby, you know, I'm about to hit that thing. Other thing, Negro, if you want to have a knife to your neck and get stabbed, happening, man. So then it becomes a doctrine of making the women be submissive to calling them names and, you know, making them feel little and belittling them, and they're not supposed to speak, and it's all about the man. Where's that in the Bible? So I think when you ask me that question, I think that's where I can speak on from a New York perspective of what I've seen being in the truth.
Man, I mean, pretty much because that's where pretty much it kind of, the root of everything kind of was planted before it kind of spread out to Atlanta and other places like that,
Right.
you know. So, of course, the perspective of it there is going to be more of a solid understanding, even more from with Rabbi Matthews and all them. They didn't start off as like the radicals, you know, or the Power Rangers that we see. You know, they was more so humble, humble men, you know, before, same way like the Black Panthers and the gangs were back in the day before the youngsters took over. They weren't as aggressive and active, and all of a sudden you had the Tukey Williams of the world come on the scene, and all of a sudden now the gangsters is like they don't even respect the OG's way, you know. So that's the thing. But man, I really appreciate it, you know, and whatnot, man. I definitely look forward to the next one. I'm gonna get the date I'm supposed to get with them. It'll probably be sometime. We probably do it. It'll probably be around probably March or April when it's not. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what time. How's the weather in New York in like April?
Well, the weather's been so bipolar. The Passover season is usually in between because sometimes I know like last year, I think we had like about 60, 70 degrees, but I know baseball season always starts around Passover. So you gotta, what I would do is look at the calendar for when the baseball season starts, and then I would go between that date because baseball never starts when it's too cold.
Okay.
It always starts around either the week before Passover or either the week of. It's always in between that time is when baseball season starts.
Okay. Yeah, we definitely going, because I'm not coming up there with it. Look, man, my face almost froze, man. My face almost froze, man.
You ain't been up here in February.
58 degrees. It's 29 in New York, man.
Look, man, you ain't been up here in February. You come up here in February, it's like -10, man. And I'm gonna tell you something, boy. If I wasn't a December baby, man, I'd probably be lighter than you. I mean, yeah, look, as cold as it get out here, I'm surprised I'm not light skinned, man.
Hey, man, that thing ridiculous out there, man. It's ridiculous. But definitely appreciate you, man, for definitely coming on. And again, man, you know, it's definitely a blessing to meet you and chop it up with you, man. I definitely know we're gonna be doing more. You got to get down south, man. We gotta definitely.
I told you what I'm gonna do is if you want to do the next one out there, if you're gonna definitely do it around Passover this time, it'll give me more than enough time to get like the whole. Because I know, you know, when you dealing with hotels and stuff, you gotta have your stuff ready.
Well, it's probably gonna be up there though.
Oh, you want to come back to New York again?
Yeah, because they want to do it again up there. They already asked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we gonna work that out. I'm not coming when it's cold. I ain't fooling with y'all, man. I'm not coming when it's cold. You're not getting me, man.
Look, we ain't all blessed to have that beautiful day in Georgia / Florida weather, man.
Hey, look now, you come down here in the wintertime, it'll get down to about 18.
He like, let me think about that for a second. Check this out, man. My brother, I told you, lives in Georgia. And this dude calls me every winter laughing as he's in his backyard barbecuing with 50 degrees in December. I'm like, man, I want to cuss this dude so bad.
Hey, man, you got to move, man. You got to move, migrate, bro.
But you know what, though? Honestly speaking, most I will, the way I see the Lord dealing with Israel, because I feel like this. Listen to the conversation that we had yesterday at the panel, right? Too many people are focused on just running to Africa, whether it be Israel directly or just Africa, period, and not realizing how the Most High is migrating these people to the south way before we even get over there.
You're right, bro.
I told people that, I said, you have to look at the way the Lord's Spirit move. If you go down south right now, even though things are still getting expensive, down south is only the area where you can still buy property for a decent rate and still start growing and doing agriculture according to your own will without anything else. But we automatically start jumping and say, oh, well, we got to go to Africa.
Yeah, because that show came up like, y'all gonna move back to Israel. I'm like, man.
Right. And the thing is, I'm like, and I'm gonna be honest, I read this book. I've been reading this Bible thoroughly for years. And I know I'm not no nut job. According to prophecy, we're not supposed to return back to Israel until the Messiah come. So I'm just kind of stuck because I'm like, hold up. And I'm not trying to knock nobody's shoe, but the prophecy says that we're not going to return back home until the Lord comes and redeems Israel for the four corners of the earth. And we know darn well we ain't get there yet.
That's
so
right.
How we all just throwing on our hoodie and we like, yo, we out.
Nah.
And the Lord says, lean not to your own understanding. So we start using our emotions based on the way the government is treating us. We never going to get it.
Yeah. You go whatever you want to. I'm not.
And I'm sorry because the scripture said that land was left desolate. So if the Bible said the Most High left that land desolate until the Jews come back, then if the land is desolate, then why am I running my behind over there?
Yeah, that's true.
Now don't get me wrong. I don't have nothing against visiting the homeland. But see, my thing is, with the heathen being over there so long, how do we actually know that them certain places they mark off is actually our territory?
And that's true. That's another fact.
And that's another question I'm asking brothers. And I said, don't get me wrong. I'm not against Demona or all of the things that we did. But I'm going to tell you something. And I know brothers going to get mad at me for saying this, but I love y'all. Nobody told, I believe, Ben-Ami to take his black ass over there and take all them people. Nobody told him to do that. But again, Judah I'm sorry, I had to say it, Pastor. I had to, man. And they could get mad at me. Y'all could throw stones at me, throw rocks. I had to say it. Nobody told me to take his ass over there. But yet the thing is, Judah get this proud spirit that we against the enemy so much that we impose our own will, and then they give us a sit on top of a nuclear power plant.
Right, that's true.
Come on now. Then you gotta join the government to be even considered an Israeli. You're not even an Israelite.
And then you gotta denounce Messiah.
Yeah, no. Time I cut little karate chop. I started doing the martial arts when it come to that, man. I'm not about to sit here and lose my soul salvation to please nobody because I want to put my stronghold of being a black man that came back to the heathen land. That don't make no sense.
Yeah,
and don't get me wrong. I'm never against Israel standing against oppression. I would be a coon to say that. I'm never against that. But again, if the Bible is prophecy and we believe the Bible, the whole Bible, Torah, Tanakh, whatever, New Testament, how is it that we oppose our own will to do things that we haven't seen the signs to do yet? And then we get mad when things don't go our way. That to me, like I said, if we could gather different Israelites from the world and go to Africa, West Africa, South Africa, and meet the little communities of tribes that have our heritage still that's not conformed to being Hamites, I'm not against that. I'm for that, meeting my brothers and sisters that I still keep the culture and so forth. But to actually take my family over there and say, look, I'm waiting on the Lord to come back. Now, how we know the Lord going to come back? And now what about the Most High come and say, you know what? Because remember, the scriptures say, he said he's coming. He said he's going to come down and give us a new Jerusalem. How do we believe that we know that's exactly where he's going to go?
Yeah, that's true.
How do we know he ain't going to Atlanta?
And you notice that a lot of Israelites who live in the west coast of Africa, and as well as other parts of Africa that migrated, even in the south part of Africa that are Israelites, like Limbas and Igbos and all of them, you notice you don't see them migrating back to the Northeast Africa, to Israel.
No.
They still keeping the culture right where they at because they understand the prophecy. They understand the prophecy.
Right.
Now we feel like we know more than them, and we're gonna go ahead on and migrate on over there.
Right.
And that's crazy, man.
I feel there's no way the Lord will have this much chocolate in North America and not have us all on one accord to let us know where we need to be. It's like, in other words, everybody got this thing like, if I don't get over there now, I'm going to miss the Messiah coming. But that's not scripture. So are we dealing with scripture? Are we dealing with emotions? And I think that's what the problem is, like the brother was saying yesterday. The pastor said it very keen. And I think this is the hardest thing for us as a culture of black people to do. We don't like to deal with the contents of the Bible and just stay with the scriptures. We always got to throw something in there.
Yep, always. Every time.
And if it's not fitting our fancy, we got a problem with it.
Every time. Every time. Well, I'm gonna let you go ahead on and roll, man. I got to get off. I'm gonna let you roll, and we definitely gonna be chopping it up. I'm gonna get with you and set some dates. Check it out. Also, too, man, I'm just talk to you more about some things too, about maybe doing something up in New York as well.
Hold on, you sound like a robot, man. Here we go. All right, there you go. You good now? I couldn't hear you.
Yeah. I'm gonna definitely chop it up with you too about putting together a little something up in New York as well. So I'll be talking with you.
You know what it is? I think for the next one, to be fair, I think just to be fair, you got to invite somebody from one of those One West camps to really get the thing to get heated. Because if we're going to bring out this truth, we got to put them in the fire too. We're going to have to, man. We're going to have to. I don't know what group you want to choose from. I know all of them. But I'm telling you, man, you got to throw somebody on the hot seat, man. You're going to have to because just like you told the brothers yesterday that certain questions need to be answered, these brothers need to be on the hot seat and answer certain questions.
Yeah,
because it's only fair because
We definitely gonna get. Not you talk. We gonna work together and figure out which one we gonna get. We gonna get from the camp and put them on the hot seat.
Look. What color you want to choose from? Black and white, purple, green? Power Ranger you want from? Let me know what Power Ranger theme you want to choose from, man. And I'll let you know what color we dealing with.
All right.
But we gonna have to, man.
I'm gonna holler at you.
All right, Shalom.
All right, shalom.